Plaintiff John Del Santo says when he first met the defendant, he didn't like him because of his appearance. But little did he know the defendant felt the same way about him. John is a DJ, and he hired the defendant to work security for him. But he's suing him today for stolen property and lost wages. Defendant Paul Schniedermeyer says when he met John, he was a complete nobody. But over the years, his ego exploded. Paul admits that John's property was damaged during a party, but insists it was not his fault.
Tell me what's going on.
Well, I met Paul about 10 years ago at an apartment party near Loyola University, and I saw this guy across the room, and he looked like a member of the Trenchcoat Mafia. He had long hair and a ponytail and a full-length trench coat, and I saw the guy, and I was like, I don't like this guy. And well, he saw me, and he thought a similar thing, because I was wearing like a members-only jacket and tight jeans and chucks. He's like, this guy's a hipster idiot. Anyway, we eventually became friends because we figured out we liked the same video games. And at the time, I was, well, I still am a DJ, and I was doing parties, and I was like, well, he's a big guy. I could probably get him to do security for me at my house parties. And so I hired him, and he did all right.
How long ago?
This is about 10 years ago. And so, I mean, he did a good job, except for the occasion where he would drink on the job and disappear. And later, when my DJ career got better, or got more successful, I started bringing him along as a tour manager, which basically is someone who makes sure I get paid every night, which from his size, would be good at it. Except, of course, when he would drink. I would give him my drink tickets to bring me drinks while I was playing, and sometimes he would just disappear. There was one time where I was playing, and I couldn't find him all night. And I went looking for him, and I asked the security guard if they'd seen my tour manager. He's like, yeah, I saw him go outside about an hour ago. I find him outside in the parking lot, literally passed out using a box of Dunkin' Donuts as a pillow. and I mean, that's, you know, there's a ton of, I mean, one time we were in Tokyo, and well, the same thing, you know, he disappeared, and it's even worse there because, I mean, I don't know how to say, where's the tall, goofy guy in Japanese, and no one speaks English there. So I'm just looking for him, and I eventually find him at the base of a spiral staircase going up to the VIP area, literally wrapped around, drunk, you know, passed out at the bottom of the staircase. And the Japanese are real polite people, so no one's kicking him out, they're just walking over.
He stepped over.
Yeah. And I mean, look at the guy. I can't pick him up. What am I supposed to do? He's supposed to be taking care of me, and this guy's, you know, passed out, drunk, you know, in a foreign country.
How many years has he acted like this?
As long as I've known him, pretty much.
And how many years has he worked for you?
I'd say about maybe 8 years.
Doing the same thing?
Yeah, I mean,
you all good buddies, though.
Right. I mean, because it's funny, you know, it's a funny story at the time, but then, you know, it's like it gets to a point where he's been doing it for so long, it's
but
like...
you said you both drink.
Yeah, but I drink in moderation.
And you drink at work as well.
Right.
So maybe you need to give him a different job. Just stand on the side of the stage.
Well, yeah, no, actually, he hasn't done tour managing stuff for me in
What does he do now for you?
Well, what he was doing is he manages a building, and so he had an ample storage space in the back, and that's how we get to where we are now.
Manages a building.
Right.
Good enough. He's still in management.
Right.
I am.
Good.
What he needs to manage is his drinking.
Let me hear your side, sir.
So, Your Honor, as you've heard, I've known this gentleman for about a decade. You know, when I met him, he was just some scrawny ex-raver kid, a complete nobody. We started working together.
That's a personal opinion.
We started working together. You know, I was, as mentioned, I was his business partner. I was his tour manager, and I also became his therapist because as his fame grew, his ego exploded.
What?
Anytime there's any problem that happened to him, it's now everybody's problem. Everybody has to deal with it.
Well,
how's that egotistical, though?
It's very egotistical.
It sounds like he relies on his friends.
He does. But conversely, when he would create a problem, it's now anybody but him. He can't own up to anything. There was a point in time I was driving cross country to meet up with a girl that I'd met while we were touring, and at the exact same time, she's also driving cross country to stay with him. And he can't tell me about this. He acts like it's not his fault. He didn't do anything. There's another time
Well, you can't even keep your head up when you're drinking. What else do you think you have problem keeping up?
Well.
Oh,
that is personal. That's very personal.
Go ahead, son.
Continuing
That has
on.
nothing to do with what we're talking
Stop it. Come on, what he can. You want some Viagra, sir?
Are you offering?
Talking about what the man can.
I'm actually a Cialis man.
Go ahead.
Continuing on, this gentleman crashed my car once, and he comes running into my house right after crashing my car. He says, I got to run off to a meeting. You got to fix your car. Like it's my problem that he crashed.
I didn't crash your car.
something.
Your brother did it.
Frankly, I was more upset about the car than the girl at the time. And these are just the sort of things where, honestly, the last 5 months without him being around have felt like a vacation.
All right. Now, you tell me what happened to cause you to sue your friend of 10 years.
No, as I said, he was managing a building and a storage space in the back. And since I travel a lot, I had to have somewhere to keep my excess music equipment. And so he had the space in the back, and I was like, listen, you're not using it. Well, you're using it for storage. You mind if I drop some stuff up in there? Like a
So
guitar?
you asking him for a favor?
Well, no, I mean, because we actually have a contract here. I was like, I'll pay you for the service. And so we did that. And so, I mean, it was fine. We did it. We started doing it in July.
How much were you paying him?
$20 a month.
Okay.
So we did this in July, and it was fine. I would leave town, come back, stuff was still there, fine. Until I came back mid-March, and stuff's missing. And I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, I don't know. And I come to find out later, from his brother that he'd had some kind of party down there. And I got written testimony from his brother as well.
What items were missing? And the values?
A sound card, which is $200, a guitar, which is $900, and a keyboard that was $400. And
okay. So when you were out, you weren't performing, obviously.
I was
when you
DJing.
were gone.
So this stuff is for when I do live performance with a band.
Gotcha.
And so I was scheduled to go on tour. I had like a week off from DJ tour to go back on a live tour. And so this stuff was used for the live show. And so when I came back, this stuff was missing. I had to subsequently cancel those shows because I didn't have any of the equipment.
How long after you returned was your live show to occur?
It was the tour would start a week after. I had a week off.
1 week later.
Right.
And you need all of this equipment for it.
That is correct.
Sir?
Well, that part of the story is true. He did pay me to store sound equipment in my building, and the sound equipment absolutely did get damaged during a party. All I can say in my own defense here is I'm not the one who did it. There were multiple people in there. I can't stress this enough. It wasn't a storage locker that was just for him. It was a large room that had like multiple things in it for different people.
But the contract he signed, he says is with you. Let me see it, please. And you signed the contract to be responsible for his items and to care for them. What is your defense to not honoring the contract, which I'm sure leaves you responsible for any items that are missing or damaged?
I'm going to be honest with you, that was over a year ago. I don't even remember signing that contract. I'm going to assume that he's not bringing I'll assume he's not bringing a false document into court. I sign a lot of different paperwork running the building. It's always, lease this or term that. Again, my lead defense here is...
You seen that document before? Or is that the type of document?
That is the type of documents, and that is
That's your signature on the last page?
That is my signature, yes.
All right. So what else?
I was there. I didn't damage any of his gear. Clearly somebody else did.
But you were responsible for the care of it.
Your Honor, it's a lot of people were there. I fail to see how this just falls on my shoulders.
Because as I just said, you were responsible for the care of the property because you signed a contract and were paid to do so. Did anyone else sign a contract to protect his property?
No, that part is accurate. I just think that this individual should understand that, being in the business that he is, when a party happens, sometimes things get broken. That's the nature of, the whole field.
He should assume the risk. That's what it's called in the law. Assume the risk of what might happen pursuant to this contract and pursuant to the services I'm providing, saying that, okay, I'm providing you the service of protecting your property, but you have to assume the risk. You have to know that even though I am contracted to protect your property, you should also know that it can go beyond my capabilities, and therefore you should assume that anything beyond my capabilities, I am not to be held liable for. That's what you're trying to suggest, perhaps?
I think it's reasonable that liability should fall on the person who actually did the damage.
All right. Can you find that person?
I do not believe I'd be able to be perfectly honest.
Okay. When you find him, get your money, because today you're going to have to pay him
Thank you.
$4,000. You're responsible for it. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
You need to go get some help for your drinking. Get your act together. Moron.
Yeah. You know what? I hope you take that $4,000 and buy a clue.
Yeah.
Because you are
you need some help.
out of line.
You need to take vacation to Betty Ford.
Not apologizing for partying. I'm a grown man.
Yeah, all right. Whatever. Drunk.